AITA for pressing charges against my wife after she had a shopping spree on my credit cards the day after our wedding. My wife demanded I pay for her 47,000 shopping spree because that is what husbands do exactly one day after our wedding. We got married 3 weeks ago. I'm 34. She's 29. The wedding was small. Nothing fancy. About 8,000 total, which we split. The morning after our wedding night, I woke up to her sitting on the couch with her laptop, clicking through designer handbag websites. Louis Vuitton, Gucci, Prada, the works. I asked what she was doing and she said, "Just browsing for some things I need." Need turned out to be 4 purses, 2 pairs of shoes, and a wallet that cost more than my car payment. I confronted her that night and she got really defensive. "I'm your wife now. You're supposed to take care of me. That's how marriage works." I said we both work. We both contribute. She makes decent money as a legal assistant. We'd talked about finances before getting married and agreed we'd keep things mostly separate until we figured out a joint system. She stared at me like I'd just insulted her entire bloodline. "I'm quitting my job." "What?" "I'm quitting. I gave my notice yesterday. My last day is Friday." Husbands provide. That's what my dad did for my mom. That's what your job is now. I was stunned. We'd never discussed this. Not once. She'd always talked about her career goals, about making partner at her firm eventually. I asked her if this was some kind of joke and she said, "I'm not joking. I'm done working. You make enough for both of us. I make about 90,000. Comfortable, but not support to people while one racks up luxury purchases money." Over the next 2 weeks, packages arrived daily. I'd come home to stacks of boxes, designer clothes, more handbags, shoes, jewelry, perfume that cost $400 a bottle. I checked our credit card statements and nearly had a heart attack. She'd maxed out the card I'd added her to. Then she'd somehow gotten access to 3 other cards, ones I'd had for years that I barely used. All maxed. $47,000 total. When I confronted her, she said I was being controlling and financially abusive and that I clearly didn't love her if I was going to deny her basic happiness. I canceled every card, changed all my passwords, told her she needed to return everything or get a job to pay for it herself. She called her parents. They showed up at our apartment that same night. Her dad started screaming at me in the hallway, calling me a deadbeat and a manipulator. Her mom was crying, saying I'd tricked their daughter into marriage just to trap her. Her brother, 28, got in my face and said if I didn't fix this situation, he'd make me regret it. I told them the truth, showed them the credit card statements on my phone, showed them the delivery confirmations, explained that she'd quit her job without discussing it and expected me to fund her lifestyle. Her dad said, "So what? That's what husbands do. You provide. She takes care of the home." I said she doesn't cook, doesn't clean, and has literally spent the last 2 weeks shopping online while I work 50-hour weeks. Her brother shoved me, called me a liar. I told them all to leave or I'd call the police. They left, but my wife went with them. 2 days later, I got a call from her aunt who I'd met once at the wedding. She said she'd heard I was abusing my wife and that the whole family was going to make sure everyone knew what kind of man I really was. I said, "Go ahead." They did. They posted on Facebook about how I was controlling, how I'd isolated their daughter, how I was financially abusive. Her mom wrote a whole essay about how I'd canceled my wifey's Spotify account. I did. It was on my payment plan and she'd upgraded it to the premium family plan and added 6 of her friends without asking as proof of my abuse. The Spotify thing went semi-viral in their community. I started getting messages from random people calling me trash. So I posted the receipts, every single credit card statement, every purchase, screenshots of her texts to her friends talking about how she was never working again and how she'd trained me well. A photo of the closet in our spare bedroom that was literally wall-to-wall designer shopping bags. Her family lost it. Her dad threatened to sue me for defamation. Her brother showed up at my work and security had to escort him out. My wife called me crying, begging me to take the post down, saying I'd humiliated her and ruined her life. I said she ruined her own life by lying to her family and committing fraud. Turns out, that's exactly what she did. I talked to a lawyer. She'd opened 2 of those credit cards by forging my signature on applications that came in the mail. The other one she'd stolen from my desk and activated without telling me. That's identity theft. I filed a police report. She's been charged. Her family is still blowing up my phone, saying I am destroying her future over a few purchases and that I am a monster for getting law enforcement involved. I filed for annulment. It got approved last week because of the fraud. Now her friends are saying I should have just communicated better and that I am an asshole for pressing charges instead of working it out. Some of my coworkers agree. They say marriage is about forgiveness. I'm starting to wonder if I went too far. Should I have just eaten the debt and divorced her quietly? AITA?